Hello, this is Ron Brown. This is a video, which is a follow-up video to a video that I recorded last week on looking for stocks that are in different trend modes, either a micro trend, a short-term trend, intermediate-term trend, or an intermediate-term trend with the fan up. Now I'm doing this on November 18th. It's a Friday. It's a little after noon. And I'll just go ahead and move on to the next slide here. Standard risk disclaimer. Any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. If you're not using High Growth Stock Investor, you should, because it's extremely powerful and there's nothing else like it on the market. Just go to highgrowthstock.com and get a 30-day trial. No credit card will be required. Now I'm in my designer portion of the software, and what I've done is I've added this folder right here, Trends, Micro, Short, Intermediate with Fan Up. I'm only doing the long side right now, but micro trend up, short-term trend up, medium trend up, or medium trend up with the fan up. Now, what I'm doing is, or what I'm going to do next, I should say, is I'm going to update Intraday now, just to make sure that all the data is up to date. I'm using a 7 or 8 year old computer, and it's still relatively fast, so you can see that even if you don't have the latest equipment, HCSI will work pretty well, or run pretty quickly, I should say. Okay, the intraday quotes have been updated. Now, this is optional, but I want to see what the groups are doing. So I just updated the data, and I'm going to go in and rebuild indexes and groups, and this is updating all of the industry groups. Now, this is something you don't have to do. I just like to keep it up to date when I'm looking at these smart groups, and I'll show you why. Now, right down here, these need to be updated. So whenever you're starting to prospect intraday, you can just go into the Tools menu, click on Rebuild User SmartGroups, and it's going to go through and rebuild all of these User SmartGroups, not just these down here. Depends on the speed of your computer. It really doesn't take that long. It isn't quite finished yet. You can see the hourglass. Okay, that should do it. I'm going to click on micro. So what do I mean by a micro trend? Well, if you watched last week's video, you'll know, but I'm going to transfer this to my warehouse view. And this is just the standard warehouse view that I use for intraday. It's 1A, and you can see that all of these stocks are up. I'm sorted on raw combo, and that brings the stocks to the top of the list that have the highest range and percentage price change. So this stock is at 100% of its daily range. It's a really, let's see what it's an inexpensive stock at $1.82. But as I click on this, before I do that though, notice that in the days since the 3 crossed the 6, this column is populated. It means that as I bring up this stock, as of last night, the 3 was above the 6, but in the short term, the 6 was not above the 18. But because this gapped up today, they're both up. Let's go to the next stock and see. Well, this one too. But as of this morning, or last night, this one was positive, and today the short-term trend, the 6 above the 18, is also occurring. So there was a notification on this stock that the 3 was above the 6 here, and then it went back down for a day, and then it started emerging here again as it crossed. So this would have been coming up for what, 2 days now, and this is the current day. So this is the purpose of this, to find stocks that may just be crossing over the 3 and the 6. Let's look at another one. Okay, now this says 2 days ago. If you look over here at the left, which is actually 3 days ago because the 0 is the crossover. So where did it cross over? Right here. And it is continuing up. So the way you use the micro trend is you're looking for stocks that may just be starting to emerge. Now let's go to the short-term trend. By the way, I limited these to 25 stocks, all of these smart user groups. I'll transfer this to the warehouse, and let's just look at the first one. Now this looks for stocks where the 3 is above the 6 and the 6 is above the 18, and that happened back here where the 6 went above the 18, but the 3 went above the 6 back here. This is a cheap stock. Let's look for something else. Now here's another inexpensive stock, but look at this. Here is where it crossed over, and all of these are pocket pivots, and it has moved up from, looks like around $1.20 to over $2.30, $2.35. So 100% move on this stock, and the signal came right there, and then the confirmation with the 6 above the 18 happened right here. Let's find one that's got a little more value to it. Here's a $90 stock, and you can see that the 3 crossed the 6 here, and the 6 crossed the 18 here, so this stock is trending. Now I'm going to go down to the next one. The medium-term trend up. I'll click through to the warehouse view, and if I click on this, this tells me that all 3 trends are up. So now we're really getting into trending stocks. Or when the 3 is above the 6 is above the 18, and the 18 is above the 50. All of these histograms are positive. Now this one went positive back here, and then it chopped around, went positive again here, here, and then again here. So a pullback, and then it went positive again. But notice when it pulled back here, the 6 was still above the 18, and the 18 was, it looks like it was above the 50. So far we have 3 different levels of trends. Now let's go to the medium trend fan up. So all 3 trends are up, plus the fan is in position. What do I mean by the fan? I mean the 200, the 100, the 50, and the 18 are all in place, and this stock is a very strongly trending stock. Here's where it crossed over, and then a little pullback here, but notice the 6 remained above the 18, and the 18 remained above the 50. The volume point of control went negative for one day, and then we had a gap up here, and it has been moving up since. So when you get down into this list, you should find stocks that are really trending. Let's look at Ardmore Shipping. Okay, this went positive clear back here. We had a pullback. The 3 went below the 6 on this pullback, but the 6 remained above the 18, and the 18 above the 50. The VPOC was negative, and then it turned positive right here, and now this stock is breaking out again. Here's a little cup right here, and maybe a 2-day handle on it, and it's starting to go again. But you can see that the fan is in place. I haven't pointed out the groups yet. I meant to do that earlier, but this is why I update the groups, because I can see the group line to see if the entire group is moving. Let's do one more. Here's a familiar name, Ryder Systems. Now this is a little choppier here, but the 3 did go above the 6 back here. Didn't fall below it. The 6 is above the 18. 18 is above the 50. You can see there's been chop because the volume point of control, which is really sensitive, has been in and out, and the group has been choppy too. But the trend is in place, or the fan is in place, I should say. 200, 150, and 18. Here's a test for supply and a confirmation of that test as it's breaking out. So these are the smart groups that I put in here. Now let me look at one thing here. As I go back here and look at the days since the 3 crossed the 6, some of these stocks crossed long ago. Let's look at this one. It looks like a very low volume stock, but everything's in place, as you can see, and it's been trending up for quite some time. That's a investment company. Let's look at Cactus here. That crossed over 25 days ago, which would be right here, and it had a little pullback, but not enough for the 3 to go below the 6, and the 6 and the 18 remained positive along with the 18 and 50. So the reason I put these in your add-on, it's going to be in this folder, add-on list, all user smart groups. These are the smart groups which are installed with the basic files. I just added it to this, and this, in summary, these are stocks where the 6 or the 3 is above the 6, and they may just be starting a run. This one, the 6 is above the 18 also, and this one, the 18s, I'll show you on the chart. 18 is above the 50. Intermediate term trend. I call it medium term trend up here on the chart. It says intermediate term trend. I should have called it intermediate term trend, but you understand what it's all about. And then this one just has the fan up too. So these will be the strongest trending stocks. These are next strongest. These are emerging. These have emerged but are getting confirmed by the 6 being above the 18. If I get around to it, I will change the name of these to intermediate term to coincide with the chart. And the chart that I'm using, by the way, is in my number 10 folder. It's chart 01. And I call this contextual chart because it puts everything in context relative to the moving averages. I can see what the group's doing. I can see the crossovers down here on the histograms. I can see pocket pivots, and I can see volume point of control. I went ahead and paused the video and fixed these. These now say medium term trend, which corresponds with the chart. I just thought I'd fix it. But another thing I just thought of, things that you can do with these groups if you want to filter further. I'm going to go into the warehouse, and I'm still in the same group, but let's go somewhere down here. If you want to scan on anything else, you can do that, but there's a couple things I want to show you. Going down to earnings momentum. Now I've added box stocks in here. These are ERG 240 box stocks, ERG 240 box stocks intraday, or just box stocks. So if you find or run this and you want to look only for box stocks, let's see if any come up, box stocks intraday. So this tells me that these stocks right here that are up for today, which have a short-term crossover, are HGS box stocks. Now, if you don't know what a box stock is, just look in the help file under HGS boxes. But these are stocks that have shown consistent earnings growth. So these are crossing over the 3 and the 6, and they're box stocks. Now I'm going to go down to over here. Let's go to the short term. None in the short term. Medium term trend, there are 6 out of 25 that are box stocks, so it could just give you a little more confidence about buying the stocks. Notice the earnings growth up here. This is exploration and production. Nice earnings growth up here. Beautiful chart. Now some of these charts are going to be in in more than one scan. For example, this one right here, let's see, I'm on medium term trend up, and if I go to medium term trend up with fan, here it is here, because the fan is in place. So it will appear in both of these. So this is just one example if you want to scan on something else. I'm going to give you another example. I'm going to go from earnings momentum up to a volume price analysis, bullish. And let's just do bullish signals, bullish VPA flags today, intraday with a 500,000 minimum. There's nothing that showed up under there. Under micro, there is. I'm in my micro trend up intraday, and here's a no supply, test for supply, no supply. So let's just look at these stocks. Okay, here's the VPA flag. It is well, let's look at this. Is this up? It's still up 22 cents. Hard to see on the chart. This is up too, but it is down from its high. You can see the price is up for the day. I'm looking for one. Well, here's an example. Here's a VPA flag from the scan from yesterday, and here's a low volume test today. This may not be a great example, but you can scan on any of these User SmartGroups and look for signals. Here's Warner Enterprises. It's up today. What was the signal? I don't see it, but let's click on it. Right here, transfer of ownership. It's a red dot, which you can't see in here. And what that's saying, see this lower wick right here, means it sold off and then buyers came in and now it's going up. Anyway, you can scan on anything in these User SmartGroups. Just something to think about and try. That's it for this video, and I won't be around this weekend, so I won't be doing another video. Have a great week, and if you're leaving town for Thanksgiving, have a great Thanksgiving.